Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to another match review. Finally back since Chelsea didn't play this weekend. First off, I was meant to put like some videos out, like the hangover that we are meant to have and my FPL video with Yelena. But I had so many scheduling conflicts, like it was just so hard and people were sick. And so I wasn't able to put out those videos. I said, okay, you know what, it's fine. Like, we'll just start again next week. That's cool. So fully be expecting those videos in the next week. Hopefully we won't have any more scheduling conflicts with that. But today we're here to talk about Chelsea and Chelsea's game versus Arsenal in the Premier League. Obviously, Chelsea lost 3-1, scored a goal. So that's one positive to at least draw from this match. But in this match review, I'm going to be giving you my rational, honest opinion about Chelsea, about what's going on, about where I think that we should go from here, about the game, about everything. So definitely make sure to get your comments in because I want to hear what you guys have to say about the match as well. So I'll start this match review by saying this, and I know that it's quite depressing, but I really was like going into this like, if we get a draw, that would be a positive result for us given our current form. And I know that Arsenal haven't been in the best of form, that they had lost versus City and that they had drawn the 3 games prior, but they're still first/second in the league depending on the amount of games played. So it was never going to be an easy game, and Arsenal, like, even though they haven't had the best form going into this game, they're still in crazy form in general in the league. So I was fully expecting them to bring it, and my expectation for the team, like, I just wanted to see some fight, some grit, some determination. It was 7 years ago on this day that we had the Battle of Stamford Bridge, where Chelsea went 2-0 down versus Spurs, and then we tied 2-2 in order to ensure that Leicester won the league. And so I was just hoping for more of that determination and fighting spirit in the team. And I think that you kind of see a lack of that type of character, like the Diego Costa fighting type of player in the starting 11. And I think that we're definitely missing like that sort of personality in the dressing room, and that makes a big difference. And somebody like Antonio Rudiger, for example, I think like we're sorely missing him. Jorginho as well was a leader, even though on the pitch, like, I felt that he had given like mixed bag of performances, but you couldn't deny that he was a player that united the dressing room. So that's kind of like the first point. But let's start by taking a look at the starting 11, as I always do. So I'm going to share my screen, and hopefully you guys can see it because I'm never like actually sure. So I'm pretty sure that you can see it, but I'll be checking the comments. So let me know if you can for whatever reason. So the first thing that stuck out to me was, why are we playing a back four? Like, that made absolutely no sense, because I just feel like, in my opinion, whenever we've played a back four, we've looked a lot more open, we've conceded more goals. So why are we playing a back four against one of the best attacks in the league? That just didn't make any sense to me, especially when you have Badiashile on the bench, who can perfectly slot in there and has been really great whenever he's played. I don't understand why he's suddenly frozen out of the starting 11. I personally don't get it. I would have started him and make this a back five. And then other than that, there's not really so much that you can do. Like, maybe you can bring Ruben Loftus-Cheek or Chalobah in for Azpilicueta in that right back / right wing back spot in my ideal world, with Reece James out injured. Then we have this midfield three with Enzo Fernandez and N'Golo Kante and Mateo Kovacic. Honestly, I feel that Kovacic has been dropping not great performances recently, so I was surprised to still see him in the starting 11, especially with all of the rumors that have been going on. At least that's what I've seen on Twitter about him potentially leaving Chelsea this summer because he's no longer happy at the club. And so for me personally, I'm surprised to see him given those rumors, because at this point, when there's really just pride to play for and hopefully not dropping any further down in the table, I would give those minutes to somebody who you know is definitely going to be at Chelsea next season. And at this point in time, I would be surprised if Mateo Kovacic is one of those players. And then you have the front three of Noni Madueke, Aubameyang, and Raheem Sterling. Honestly, I was shocked not to see Mudryk starting. I was so surprised because I feel like I said, why not give minutes to somebody who you know is going to be at Chelsea next season? And he's a young player. He needs the minutes to kind of like get into match fitness and get, into the swing of things. So why not give it to him and kind of use it as almost an extended preseason? I feel that Sterling has been quite frustrating, not just recently, but just this season in general. And I was super hyped about his signing because I really thought that he was going to do well for us, especially given like how he played at City. And I had a deep dive on the channel and knew some of the weaknesses, but I did feel overall that it was going to be a very positive signing for Chelsea. And I just felt that he's not shown the signs of the Sterling from Manchester United. Manchester City that we knew and loved. And so I feel that he's been putting in pretty poor performances for a couple of games now. So I fully expected Mudryk to come on. And then I was also surprised with Aubameyang starting. I mean, maybe that's a bit controversial. I see a lot of mixed opinions about Aubameyang because some people say, oh, Chelsea don't have a striker and they want him to play. Other people saying, well, he hasn't played. He's not going to be here past the summer, so give the minutes to somebody else. Kind of fall like in the middle of those two camps. But I was kind of surprised to just see him like thrown into a starting 11 playing against Arsenal, personally. And I think he had like six touches in the game, and like four were from the first touch, like the first touch of the first kickoff of the ball, something like this. I saw some crazy stat about that on Twitter. So yeah, that's basically my thoughts on the starting 11. And then you have the bench here. Like, I'm honestly surprised, like, really, that Joao Felix isn't starting, given how much we paid for him on loan. I know that he hasn't been play. I just closed the door because my husband is gaming. So if my Wi-Fi goes, please let me know and I'll open it. I hope they can't hear him. But with Joao Felix, like, honestly, just because we've spent so much money on him, you obviously only want to play players that are playing well. And it's a bit contradictory to what I was saying, right? Because it's like, oh, you want players that are going to play next season. So I guess I get it, but then it's just like a waste of money. But he hasn't really been playing at all under Lampard, so I find that like a little bit surprising. Ruben Loftus-Cheek as well, like he was one of like the better players I felt, and he's not getting any game time. But we're seeing like the likes of Hakeem Ziyech on the pitch, which I really don't understand, because he was meant to go to PSG and like openly like wanted to leave, and I surely don't think he's going to be at Chelsea next season. So it's just like super surprising for me. So I don't know. Let's take a look at some statistics here. So Arsenal had 2.11 expected goals. They scored 3. We had 0.74. And they have 1.54 expected assists, and we have 0.92. 55% possession to 45%. They have 16 total shots, 10 on target, 3 off target, and we had 7 shots. We actually have 4 shots on target, which is like quite surprising to me. honestly. More than I thought that we did. They had four big chances, two big chances missed. We had two big chances, one big chance missed. I wonder which chance that was, to be honest, because I'm not recalling anything like massive off the top of my head. Um, and then they had 87% accurate passes. We had 84%. And yeah, tackles were just beating them on that as well. Do we even take a look at the Premier League table? Like, I really want to just get to that like 40 point um zone, and we're just like stuck on 39 points forever. A lot of people are saying Chelsea could potentially get regulated. I think like technically, mathematically, they could. And I also understand like not knowing where our next points are coming from. It's pretty crazy that we face Bournemouth and it's like 12th versus 13th. And they're in really good form, like 4 wins in their last 5 games. But sorry, I'm super tired, guys. I think like in terms of being relegated, like you have to have all of these teams basically pick up points and win, like Leeds, Leicester, West Ham, they have to pick up like at least 9 points over us in order to be even relegated. So, and the other kind of like saving grace, if you want to put it like that, is that these teams in the bottom half of the table do play each other as well. So hopefully they're like not both getting points, right? Well, they both can get 3 points. So that helps Chelsea out. I don't think that we're really going to finish much higher in the table because we do have a difficult run of form. Like ideally you would just try to finish as high as possible, or like not finish in the second half of the table, get like 10th. But yeah, that's basically where we stand. I don't even know how else to put it at this point. Now this is interesting. There's team streaks. So we have 5 losses. I think it's 6. Now Arsenal had been, oh yeah, this is before the game. Arsenal have been without a win in 4 games. We were without a win in 8 games. Arsenal is still without a clean sheet in 7 games. And we're the first to get seeded 4 out of 5 games. That's insane. That's just crazy. So now I'll talk a little bit about the game. Honestly, I felt that the first half was dreadful. I really just felt that the players were going through the motions, which was really frustrating because it's a massive game, and even though we are where we are in the table, you still want to see like some performance, some fight, some drive, some heart from the team. And if we get battered but you see that they're trying, I think it helps at least. Like it at least, like I just want to see them trying, I want to see them care. And that was what was even so frustrating for me, because on the goal you just see a lot of flat-footed players. If you rewatch the goal for Arsenal's first goal, we had 6 players behind the ball, 6, but none of them went to close down. None of them like shut down the danger. We're just so flat-footed. Just let Arsenal get the ball. And that's kind of like the story for the first 3 goals. It's just like nobody's doing anything, and I think especially in the first goal, like you can clearly see that we need a DM, because a DM is going to see that danger and stop it. I think Kovacic, I think if I'm remembering correctly, Kovacic and Kepa were the ones like more at fault, quote unquote, for those goals. And I think, Kepa as well he had been putting in good performances, but there are too many goals that I think are savable at this point. So I do think Chelsea are going to be looking to get in another goalkeeper at the end of the season. I'm quite surprised like Menzi hasn't gotten a run at this point in time. So I'm Just reading through your comments now. Jacob said minus Madueke, there were no positives from today, so embarrassing. Yeah. So like let's talk about Madueke, right? I thought like he was one of the bright sparks, one of the few bright sparks for Chelsea today. And I think like that's just what you get from playing young players who want to play for Chelsea. They're going to give their all and you want to see more of them. I also thought in the little cameo that Modric had, he looked really positive and he created more down that left hand side than Sterling had in the 70 or so minutes that he was on the pitch. And so I personally do not see a reason why Modric and Madueke should not be starting the next 5 or 6 games that we have left for the rest of the season. I really don't understand why they wouldn't be starting. I think like those two were the bright sparks. I think Chua also had a good opportunity and he looked okay. And I think just in general, Ben Chilwell has been one of our brighter sparks this season. And then Conte looks okay in my opinion, but then going forward, there was a moment when we were like 4-on-2, and I was just like, we should at least get a shot on target from this, but we didn't. And unfortunately, like as brilliant as Conte is, his decision making in the final third just isn't there, and we really should be having like a more attacking minded player getting into those positions because then I feel like our chances of scoring a goal would be so much higher, to be honest with you. Um, Emeka says the torture continues. Jacob says no plan, no tactics. Players look lost. Yeah, that's the thing that gets me as well. Like we had basically a week to prepare for this game. We hadn't played at the weekend, and why? Like I said, why are we playing a back four? Like how does that make any sense? And the players just look completely dejected, and that's the last thing that you want to see. Like summer could not come fast enough. But like I said, I want to see some fight from these players. Like I want to see something for the rest of the season. And just Omar says at least we won't get relegated. Can't see any of the bottom teams getting 10 points in 4 games. Well, like I guess that's a positive. I don't think yeah, I really don't think that is possible, like that we would actually get relegated, but I've learned to never say never. Because I have said, oh, this will 100% never happen, and then it's happened. But I really, really, really don't think Chelsea are going to get relegated. I think that is extreme. Tag says so many things are going wrong. Don't even know what's the reason now. Anything new you want to see next game? Yeah, it's like it's so difficult, right? Because I just feel like from top to bottom, there's so many problems. There's been so many changes at Chelsea, from the amount of players that we've brought in to having changes in the dressing room to changes in the medical staff. Like the entire structure has basically been gutted. And I think like that causes a lot of instability within the team. And for me, I just want to see players who are going to be at Chelsea next season getting minutes. So your Mudryk, your Madueke, maybe some of the youngsters even like give Harvey Vale a shout, give Lewis Hall a shout. I don't know. Like I want to see players play for the badge. And I think that there's a lot of players that are going to be leaving Chelsea next season. It's causing a lot of disarray and unrest within the squad. I understand it because if you don't know if you're going to be at the club next season, there's nothing left to play for. Like, but I just expect more from these players, given, that they're professionals. I want to see them giving everything for the badge because we know as fans, like we're giving everything. And it's just so frustrating to just see us lose week in, week out. Yeah, I'm not like I don't feel sick, but I just like I think like there's a lot of pollen here, so I think it's like allergies a bit. And I'm also really tired because I've been up and like going since early morning, and like my throat after talking for a while, my throat just gets like super itchy. But thanks. Um, So Omar says Modric in 19 minutes created more chances, three, than any other player on the pitch, including Arsenal players. Like, what else does this guy have to do to start a game? Like, he must be starting the next game. Um, Prem Patel says, "Do you think Ziyech has really not shown his worth? Is it worth selling him, or is he just not getting the chances?" I just think like it's not just this season with Ziyech. Like it's been since we've bought him that he's been super inconsistent, and he every once in a while drops these really good performances. So you're like, oh, that's the Hakim Ziyech that we signed, but then it doesn't happen the next game. So I just feel like you don't know what you're going to get. And recently, like the performances have not been good enough. He clearly wants to move away from Chelsea as well. So I think Chelsea tried to sell him at the end of the season. So where did Chelsea go? And what are your thoughts on this, right? Because I have been saying this on my channel for a while. Like, I truly don't think you bring Poch into this mess. I really think like he needs a clean break from this season and what's going on in the toxicity that's here at the moment. And so I don't know if you wait it out with Frank Lampard or if you sack another manager like we've seen Leeds doing, like we've seen Spurs doing, and try to get somebody else in. Like I don't know, like I really feel like you just kind of stick with it until the end of the season. I don't think that Lampard is a great tactician, unfortunately, as much as that hurts me to say because he's a fantastic player. But I really don't think like bringing Poch in right now is the answer. And I just want him to kind of, have a clean preseason. I'm also wondering for preseason, like, do we sell some players already um, to give, like Pacha a less bloated squad? Does that happen? Like anybody that's like a clear case that 100% wants to leave Chelsea, for example, because, they have like a preseason tour and everything and all of that's going on. So I don't know. I really think that you just kind of have to stick it out, as rough as that sounds, for the next couple of games. Wow, I can't believe we're already in May. For the next couple of games, and then get a fresh start with him in preseason, and hopefully we have a much better preseason. It's all on the East Coast, to my understanding, so you're not going to be traveling all across the U.S. So that should help as well. Yeah, Omar says by the time that preseason starts, we shouldn't have more than 28 players. Keep in mind, like you have a lot of players coming back from loan as well. You have Nkunku coming in, you have Andre Santos coming in, Callum Hudson-Odoi is on loan, Ethan Ampadu is on loan. Is there anybody else that I'm missing that's on loan? You probably have Levi Colwell coming into the team as well. So there's even more players coming in. So we really, really, really need to trim the squad. But I think like the problem that the owners are going to have is that the stock for these players is pretty low after this season. So I think it's going to be quite difficult to make any profit on these players. So yeah, let's see. Oh, Lukaku as well. Totally forgot about Lukaku. Yeah, oh my god, it's like he's on loan. Like, does he get a chance? That's a whole other conversation for another video. But guys, my throat is dying. I'm super tired, so I'm gonna get going to bed. Um, listen, She doesn't want to be negative as there's a lot of negativity already. Please say that once again. I want to hear that joking. It's not a joke. Like, I really don't want to be negative because there is so much negativity. Like, I think that I do provide pretty balanced views. Obviously, I try to skew more on the positive side to like bring you guys a more positive spin because everything's so negative at the moment. But I do think like if somebody's playing bad, then I say it and I kind of give my thoughts to the best that I can without ranting because I don't like ranting personally. I know that that's not so popular when Chelsea aren't playing well, but that's who I am. So thanks for tuning in, guys. As you can see, I'm kind of struggling for content at the moment. I'll have hopefully an FPL video and a hangover video as long as we can get like schedule sorted and all of that. And I want to do a video on like Podge maybe, but if you guys have any other content videos that you want to see, please let me know so that I can get on them. Okay. So yeah, hope that you guys have a great rest of your day, evening, or whatever time you're watching this. And until next time, I'm out. Bye.